Hello, true art believers, and welcome to today's live art stream. This is Pierson here. I am the #1 live art streamer in the world, and you're watching 500 Days of Drawing. And we're going back to basics this week. So this week we're going to be doing a little lecture on how to do 1-point perspective, and then each day is going to build upon the previous discussion. But before I begin, I want to check my audio to see if everything's all right. It looks like we're good, and that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to check my audio, make sure I haven't. And also, before I begin, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me. So let's get started right about now after this little video. All right, everyone. So, what you want to do when you're doing 1-point perspective, the first thing you want to establish is you want to establish the horizon line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find the center of this. So I made the format, the picture format, to be square. So for simplicity's sake, so what you're going to need to do is whatever drawing surface that you're using, you are going to need a horizon line to establish your 1-point perspective. So I'm going to make the horizon line in the center of the drawing surface or drawing format. You don't have to do that. Your horizon line can be up here on the top. Whoops. It could be up here, up the top here, on the bottom here. But for this exercise, it's strictly in the middle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make it so that the lines snap to guides. So that'll make it easier for me. And I'm going to just make a line right here. And bam, we got a horizon line, right? So our horizon line is right here, as you can see. Okay. And that is our horizon line. Okay. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. There we go. That's our horizon line. So if we go down to here, we're just going to type this in right here. It's our horizon line. That is our horizon line. I think this line might be a little too thick too, actually. So you need a horizon line to do your 1-point perspective. Now, the next thing you are going to need to establish is a central vanishing point. Now, this is very simple to do. The central vanishing point can be anywhere. Let's say that you were to do, a horizon line like this. Your central vanishing point can be anywhere on the horizon line. It doesn't have to be in the center, right? But for this exercise specifically, the central vanishing point for me will be the center. So we're going to do a right here, right? We're going to remove the extras. So right here is our central vanishing point right there. Okay. That is the central vanishing point. Wow, these so you're going to need a central vanishing point. So for me, it's going to be in the center of this picture frame that I have. So just for basic 1-point perspective, all you're going to need is a horizon line and a central vanishing point. Now, what you need to do when you are doing a 1-point perspective, when you're doing 1-point perspective, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be essentially drawing the front face or front plane of that object. So we're drawing a box essentially. So that's what we're working on. We're drawing boxes today. No, like perfect boxes, just regular old boxes. So what you need to do when you whatever you're using, if you're whatever shape, whatever you're using, right? If you're using a computer, if you're using a pencil and paper, right? You're going to make sure you want to make sure that your lines are at right angles and square. Unfortunately, it's a little difficult to kind of show this via computer, but just imagine that you're going to be, when you're doing using a ruler, you want to have your lines straight up and down. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to basically make a box right here. Just make a little box. Okay. So you're just making a square, a little square or box. Sorry, I called it a box. Technically, a box is a cube, and that would mean that I'm doing. I've already established the 1-point perspective, but you're making a square, a little square shape. Now that square shape is basically going to be, that is the front. I don't know what it's doing. Stop that. Front plane or face of. Anyone notice that like it's doing like some weird, I don't know why it's doing that. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's the front plane or face of that object. So what I did today, actually, if you're noticing why it's all pixely, the reason why it's pixely is because I decided to basically use 72 pixels because I want to use this, make a video for online purposes and not for I don't want to make it into a print. So obviously that's why I don't have the PPI, the pixels per inch, so high. So now what you need to do for your your box shape or your square is you're going to basically make lines of convergence to your central vanishing point, right? You're going to make some lines of convergence to your central vanishing point. Okay. And let's find a different color to use. We're going to use like a purple. Now we're going to use no, we'll just use blue again. You're gonna make lines of convergence to your central vanishing point using from every corner. Okay, so from each one of these corners, they're all going to go towards your central vanishing point. So this corner, right? This corner, and this corner is all going to go towards your central vanishing point. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this, you're going to make a mark, and it's going to go to your. Oh, that's why it's doing that. Go to your central vanishing point like so, like this. And if you want to know how I'm making these straight lines, all I'm pressing to make for straight lines, for straight lines, you just hold shift. Right? You just hold shift for straight lines, okay? So that's how I'm making the straight lines on Photoshop. As you can see, I'm pressing down with my stylus right here. I'm pressing shift. You can see shift showing on the window here, and I'm going all the way to my central vanishing point like that. Okay? Now, as you can see, you're already getting some sort of three-dimensional approach to or feeling to this um, box shape that I'm making here. Now, what we need to do is, since we're just doing a random box shape, what we need to do is we just need to define the edge of this box. So it's completely arbitrary. You can make this box go all the way to the end here, or for this exercise, I'm going to kind of do it right here. We're going to cut it right there. You can end it right here, and then from there we're going to make a line and end it right here. Same goes for this, all the way down here, and then this box goes all the way right here. So as you can see, maybe like something like that. There you go. I don't like that. Let's not do that. I don't like that. We're going to do it right here. There we go. From this line, we're going to continue over. Straight line. Like that. Another straight line. Like that. I think that's close enough. There's obviously a way to make straight lines. I forgot to do it. Let's do that again. Oh, wow, I'm learning everything new. Okay, kind of back out there for a second. There we go. So now we have our cube shape, right? Now we just want to, let's just go clean it up now. Let's go clean it up. Let's make sure it's a little bit more precise. Let's clean it up using it's going to go on top of it with black, right? So it's looking all nice and clean. I'm going to go on top. Right now, let's just finish this shape here. All right, it's kind of there we go. So what happened here? There we go. We're just making these contour lines. Oops, there we go. Kind of jumped the ball on that one right there. All right, so now that's how you make a cube. Let's do it again this time, okay? Let's do another one. Let's go ahead and do another one, but this time I want to make sure that my central vanishing point doesn't get destroyed. So we're going to put this right here. Okay, so that we can see it a little bit more clearly. So let's do it again, just for simplicity's sake, right? Very simple process. So you're just going to want to make a square, and then you're going to have each one of those, all the corners of that square go to the central vanishing point in the center. Now, as I said, the central vanishing point can be placed anywhere on your picture plane. It can be up here, here. It doesn't matter. As I said, I'm just putting it in the center because it's simple. It's simpler to do it that way. So now what we're going to do is do the same thing. We get the blue. I want to make sure I have the right blue. I'm going to go back. I don't like how thick this line is, so we're going to go with a smaller line this time. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make a square. Maybe we'll do like a like rectangular shape. Right, or like a rectangular shape this time. Oh, that was kind of off. Something like that. We can always clean that up. And now, as I said before, right, you want to have each one of these corners, you're going to make a line from each one of those corners all the way to that central vanishing point like this, right? But cleaner than that, right? But much cleaner than that. Very simple process. So from that corner, from each one of these corners, you go to the central vanishing point like this. Each one of these corners goes to the central vanishing point. Top right corner goes to the central vanishing point. Very simple. Top left corner goes to the central vanishing point. I'm getting a little sloppy, but that's okay. The bottom left corner goes to the central vanishing point, like that. As you can see, I'm off on each one of these corners, but that's fine. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. I'm off on each one of these corners. Now, all I need to do next is determine the depth of that shape. Very easy to do. That's all arbitrary. So I'm just going to do I'm going to have the corner like this. You know, it's kind of completely arbitrary. There we go. So this is the depth of this cube, right? Very simple. Okay, so now from here, we're just going to clean up the lines with our black and white black pencil, or yeah, black mark. So we're going to go over these lines like this, just like before. And then, as I said before, each one of these corners goes to your central vanishing point. Even though they're already drawn, let's always want to reiterate that. So we get these corners, go to that central vanishing point, like so. I'm going to correct some errors. I'm going to be a little bit more precise this time, hopefully. That one's a little bit off. It's kind of tough doing 1 point perspective on computer. I'm so used to whenever I do perspective like tutorials, I'm used to using a ruler. So it's weird not having a ruler as a tool. You know? Oops. And having to use shift to create straight lines. Again, very simple. So there you go. You got two cubes done, or two box-like shapes done in 1 point perspective. So let's do that again. So you notice what happens when you go above the horizon line. So if you're notice that when you go above the horizon line on this, I'm going to call it HL for short, you see the bottom of the cube. And when then you're below, below the horizon line, you see the top, right? And if your shape's above the horizon line, you see the bottom. Because the horizon line is technically, the horizon line is also another word for eye line. Okay, it's another word for the eye line, which means basically it's eye level or eye level, whatever you want to call eye line, eye level. There's various ways you can call it. Eye line, eye level. That's the level that your eye, the person's vanishing point is at. That's the eye level. That's where your eye rests upon. So, right. So whenever your object's below the horizon line, you're going to see the top of that object. Whenever your object is above, you're going to see the bottom of that object. Especially if your objects are floating like this, right? So that's why that will help you determine what's going on. So if you're drawing one point perspective and your objects are above the horizon line, but you're able to see the top of that, then something's up. Then I don't know how you would do it. I've seen people do it. I never understood how they were able to do it, but I've seen people do it. And if you ever wonder why that's happening, it's because of that. So just be very mindful of that when you're doing one point perspective. Okay. So now that's we've just kind of going through the simplicity. So these are the lines of convergence. I guess they're called, I don't remember. I think they're called lines of convergence. Let's go ahead and put some information here so that you know. All these lines, they're called, lines of convergence. I think that's what you call them. I don't know. They may have changed, or I may have forgotten the terminology, but I believe that's what they're called in art rhetoric. They're lines of convergence. They go to your central vanishing point. Okay, so all these lines, these four lines, they converge onto your central vanishing point, of which sometimes you might hear me call the central vanishing point in this series the CVP, short for central vanishing point. So I might call my central vanishing point CVP. All right, so let's go ahead and do another one. Sorry to kind of like go out on a completely different limb there. Just wanted to kind of explain a few things. Okay, so that's what it is. That's what it is. All right. CVP stands for central vanishing point. These lines are the lines of convergence. So I might say that from time to time. If you're above the horizon line, you can see the bottom of that object, etc., etc. So let's go ahead and do another one. Right. Let's go ahead and do another shape. This very simple. Press Shift. Do that. Do that. I'm being very sloppy, I think. All right, I'll do. No. And again, same thing. Each one of these lines actually, we should just there we go. All right, so again, like before, each one of these lines right here, you're going to have them go, the lines of convergence are going to go to your central vanishing point like before. Right? They're all going to go to your central vanishing point. Okay? Just like before. So let's forget that. And now all we're going to do is we're going to go to each one of those corners. Each one of those corners, right? Go to your central vanishing point, like so. Central vanishing point, like so. Very easy. That one's a little off. Like that. See? And so you have another shape. And now the length of that shape is all arbitrary. Again, it doesn't matter what you do. Like how it could be a very long shape or it could just be a very short shape. So let's do a short shape. Let's kind of just do a short shape here, like this. All right. Actually, it's not even that short. It's probably about the same as this shape here. There we go. See? We got our block here. Now we just got to finish it off with some black, right? Like this. Go to oopsie daisy. There we go. I think these lines are a little thick. Like I go from 2 pixels to 3 pixels. I'm only adding 1 extra pixel, and yet, I'm still having issue. Let's just draw the back. No, let's not draw the back yet. As you can see, bam. Very easy. Look at that. It's a very simple thing to do. Just simple one-point perspective is very simple. It's simple and like description, very difficult to execute perfectly, especially if you're doing it traditionally with a pencil and paper, because you got to be very precise and it requires a lot more measuring, of which is something I'm going to talk about next drawing session. I'm going to talk about it next drawing session a little bit more thoroughly. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more thoroughly next time. Just doing like a toned shape here. Just doing that. I'm going to finish this up. I bet you there's a way to do this much quicker. I just don't know how. I'm claiming that I'm really naive with all the tricks on Photoshop. There's so many ways to like do things quicker, and I know so little, with regards to that. I know a few tricks, like a few things. As you can see, I kind of got tilted off there. I'm going to have to correct it a little bit. Or try to correct it. Oops. Not bad, although that's kind of wavy. Anyways, so that's how you do 1-point perspective in a nutshell. Next live art stream, I'm going to get a little bit more in depth. I think what I'm going to talk about is how to make a gridded plane using a diagonal measuring line, which is a 1-point perspective gridded plane using a diagonal measuring line. And then from there, you can make multiple cubes. You can make multiple cubes. Anyways, that is it for the day. Just for posterity's sake, let's put that is it for the live stream for today. Hope you learned a little bit. If you ever have any questions or comments or suggestions, feel free to put those in the comment section for me, because I would gladly like to articulate things that may have gone absent in this explanation. With this type of stuff, with perspective, it's pretty straightforward on how to explain it, right? Other drawing principles take a little bit more skill and just a lot more practice. With perspective, if you're just really confident with your line work, and you just are patient, you'll be able to make pretty decent shapes. And it's day 4, 5, 8. All right. So that is it. Day 4, 5, 8. That is how you do 1-point perspective using nothing but a horizon line and a central vanishing point. If we want to get more technical about it, it's lines of convergence, and that's it. You only have to do a few things to really do to create 1-point perspective. Anyways, I am done for the day. I hope you learned a little bit. Let me turn off my time lapse. Just want to say thank you so much for watching today's live art stream. Oh yeah, this is an actual streamer. I'm not. It's not a podcast. Is it a pod? No, what is it a pod? Is it a podcast? No, a podcast is just, well, I guess it's just audio. Anyway, TNP 22. So I hope you learned something today, and I'll be back tomorrow to talk about gridded planes using 1-point perspective and using a diagonal measuring line. And then what else is there? There's something else that I'm missing, but I'll figure it out. Or yeah, I think that's going to be. Oh, and then the next one is going to be more elaborate. We're going to be doing more elaborate. It's going to be called, I believe it's called cube subtraction or deconstruction. That's where you take, where I'm going to show you how you can take a cube and fragment it. Thank you. Where you fragment it into, I guess like you just make it, you're just like chopping it into smaller blocks, like Minecraft almost. Like think Minecraft, but only you're drawing the Minecraft shapes and you're deleting them with that pickaxe type thing, I guess. Essentially, but only you don't have a pickaxe. You have to like spend all this time and all these like extra moves to do it. Anyways, I got to get going. If you liked today's live art stream, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I stream every day, and each week is generally a new topic that I'm trying to express certain points that I understand that I believe might be beneficial to beginners and anyone that is always looking to kind of improve their craft, or at least seeking a different point of view that you don't see in other YouTubers or Twitch streamers. Anyways, I got to get going. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. Cheers. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you. All right. Let's get out of here. Turn off my music. we? And here we go. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much.